taking just a little break from teaching online, and next week Lynn's going to teach my class, and then after that Sandy is going to start teaching, and just until I don't know, it's just I just need a little break, so that's what's going to happen. So anyway, and thank you so much to Sandy and Lynn for taking over for me for a little while. So okay, let's run to our mats or walk to our mats. And we're going to lie back on our backs. So any position of your legs, of course, is fine. I need to close my door so my dogs don't walk in here. Okay, so on your back. Let's bring one hand to our belly and one hand to our chest. Here you can really notice the depth of your breath, the rising and the falling of your hands as you inhale and exhale. So just noticing it first, don't try to change anything. As we settle in, we're going to deepen our breath. Just noticing the difference in how much our hands rise and fall with our breath. As we're breathing deeper, and also noticing the speed. So I notice that as I breathe deeper, my hands rise and fall at a slower pace. You can keep your hands here if you want, or if you're ready to rest them at your sides, you can release your hands down to your sides. Just take another, maybe 30 seconds or so here, just getting yourself in the mindset for our yoga practice this morning. So let's bend our knees, bring our feet flat to the mat. We're going to reach both arms straight up towards the ceiling, and then as you bend your elbows, just reach for the opposite elbow with each hand. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, let your knees drop to the right, let your elbows, arms go to the left. And then inhale back to center, exhale, knees to the left, arms to the right. Inhale to center. Keep going side to side. Let's go one more time to each side. Bring it back to center. Reach both arms straight up towards the ceiling. We're going to reach both legs up straight up towards the ceiling and just start to circle the wrists and the ankles, both directions. Getting into those joints a little bit, waking up the body. And then bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest. And then lowering the feet back down to the floor. We're going to take a pigeon here on our back. So right ankle over left knee, pull that knee into the chest. And we're going to turn this into a shoelace pose here on our back. So just cross the right knee all the way over the left knee. Pull the knees in. Just reach for the knees or maybe the shins. Just a gentle stretch here on our backs. And then we're going to turn this into more of an eagle leg. So you're just going to cross that right foot back behind the left ankle. Bring the arms to a T. Bring the right arm under the left. Find eagle arms here on your back. Let your feet stay in your eagle legs and just let your feet gently drop down to the mat. So I'm going to take some crunches here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring your knees and your elbows together so your shoulders lift off the mat. Inhale, lower it all down. Exhale, pull it up. Inhale, lower. A few more. Lower it all back down. Release everything. Take a stretch. Fingertips to toes. And then we'll go to the second side. So back to our feet on the mat. We'll cross the left ankle over the right knee. Pull it in for a pigeon here on our back. Crossing the left knee over the right for a shoelace pose. Hands come to the knees or the shins. Taking this into eagle legs, wrap that left foot or toes back behind the right leg. Arms come to a T, left arm under right this time. Lower your feet down. Take an inhale here, exhale, crunch up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, shoulders lift, knees to elbows. Lower. 3 more. And lower it all back down. Release. Take another stretch. And we'll pull the knees into the chest, and we are going to roll along our spine a couple times, coming up to a seat. We'll come up to a boat pose. So hands can come behind your knees. Nice tall spine here. Chest is lifted. You release the arms. Keep the knees bent. Maybe try to bring the shins parallel with the floor. Go ahead and cross the ankles, lower everything down. We're going to come to our tabletop. And we'll move through some cat-cows. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. One more round. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding the spine. Sitting back on your heels, coming to our child's pose. We'll come forward to our tabletop again, and we'll push back to a downward facing dog. So spreading your fingers wide, getting a nice stretch here in your down dog. Pressing one heel at a time, now to the mat. Let's come out to a high plank. We're gonna come to an upward dog. So from high plank, you're just gonna untuck your toes so the tops of your feet are on the mat. Let your hips sink down. Try to keep your knees, your legs, and your hips all lifted off the mat still. Upward facing dog. And then start to lift the hips up, tucking the toes back to downward facing dog. Let's lift the right leg, bend the right knee. Stack the hips, finding your three-legged dog. Lowering the right foot to the floor, we'll come out to our high plank again. Untuck the toes, finding upward dog. Back to down dog. Lift the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hips, three-legged dog. And then lowering the left foot to the mat. One more time, out to our high plank. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Look between the hands, step the feet forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding. Let's hang out in our forward fold. So you can have a slight bend to your knees. Not quite ready for that full straight knee stretch of the hamstring yet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding again. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, palms come to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Let's take a side stretch. Hold on to your right wrist, lean over to the left. We'll come up through center, we'll go to the second side, just gently holding on to the left wrist. Lean to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bending the waist, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, let's step back to a high plank. You drop your knees. We're gonna lower all the way down to the floor. So we're gonna do a stretch on our pec muscle here. So you might wanna move over kind of towards the left edge of your mat. You're gonna extend the right arm straight out at a 90-degree angle, and you're gonna start to roll over onto your right side. So your left foot maybe comes to the mat behind you. So we're just working on that right pec muscle, the front of the shoulder, just getting a nice opening on that side. And we'll roll back onto our bellies. Let's bring both hands next to our chest. Inhale, we're just gonna press into a cobra pose, lifting up into cobra. So keep the elbows in nice and close. They're pointing straight back behind you. Lift the chest. And then we'll lower back down. Let's do the pec opener on the second side. So scooch over to the right side of your mat. Left arm extends straight out to your side. Start to roll over onto your left side. And coming back onto your bellies. We'll lift up into a cobra pose again. And then tuck the toes. Lift the hips, find your downward facing dog. On an inhale, let's lift the right leg up. We're gonna step the right foot forward between the hands and drop your left knee to the floor. Reach both arms up, finding your low lunge. Take an inhale here as you exhale, bend the elbows, find cactus arms. Inhale, reach both arms up again. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat. We're gonna step back to a plank. We're gonna move through a vinyasa. Chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Drop the back knee. Inhale, reach both arms up. Another inhale here as you exhale again, bend the elbows. Back to our cactus arms. Keep breathing. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. We're going to step back to a plank again, chaturanga, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the right leg. As you exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands, keeping the left hand on the floor or finding a block. Reach the right arm up, taking a twist. Lowering the right hand to the mat. We're going to lower the left knee. We're going to reach both arms up. Back to our low lunge. So you can either keep your toe tucked, or you can untuck your toe, bring the top of your foot flat onto the mat. We're going to lift that knee up, that back knee. And wherever you are, lower the left knee back down to the mat. We're going to come to a lizard pose. So both hands come to the inside of the right foot. You might move that right foot over a little bit. You might scooch that left knee back a little bit to come deeper into your lizard pose. Keeping your palms on the mat, maybe bringing your elbows down to a block or the floor. Finding your lizard pose. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and release. Bringing your hands to either side of that front foot. We're going to step back to our downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa here if you'd like. Inhale, lifting the left leg behind you. Exhale, stepping the left foot forward. Right hand stays on the floor or block. Left arm reaches up, taking your twist. Go ahead and lower the left hand down, lower the right knee, finding your high lunge. So you can, again, keep those back toes tucked, or you can untuck them. We're going to lift the right knee off the mat. So you're in a high lunge, either with your toes tucked under or over the top of your foot on the floor. When you're ready, we'll lower it all back down. Hands come to the inside of the left foot, finding lizard on the left side. And we'll go ahead and release. We'll step back to our downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa here if you choose to. Look between the hands. We're going to step the feet forward. Inhale, lift, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, palms come together at the center of the chest. Back to our mountain pose. Taking a breath or two here to rest in our mountain pose. Let's come to chair pose. Bring the palms together at the heart. We're going to cross the right knee over the left, finding eagle legs here. We're going to transition to a warrior three. So you're going to uncross that top leg. You're going to extend the right leg straight back. And keep your hands at your chest. Take an inhale here as you exhale, pull your knee in next to your left knee. Exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, stretch it back. One more time, pulling the knee in. Stretch it back. We're going to step all the way back. Let's come to warrior two. Straighten the left knee. Come to triangle pose. So trying to stack that right shoulder directly above the left shoulder. We're going to lower our right arm down towards the floor. We're going to walk the hands to the right. Feet become parallel. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. We're going to stretch both arms out. Kind of like we're in a downward facing dog with our arms, but our legs are really wide. You're going to keep your right hand on the floor. You're just going to take your left hand. You're going to reach under your right arm for your right leg. So just anywhere along your leg or your ankle. We'll release. We'll go over to the other side. So left arm stretches forward, right arm reaches over for your left leg. Maybe you're looking under your left arm. And go ahead and release. Walking the hands in. We're going to walk the hands forward to the front of the mat, pivot the feet forward. Step the left foot back to downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. Look between the hands. Let's step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, back to a mountain pose. Bend the knees for chair pose. This time we're going to cross the left leg over the right, eagle legs. Keep the chest lifted. Sink the hips a little lower if you can. We'll transition to warrior three. So hands are still in prayer pose. Take an inhale as you exhale, pull that knee in. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll step it all the way back. We'll come to our warrior two. So I'm just going to turn around. So we're in our warrior two. Straighten the right knee. Take triangle pose. Lower the left hand down. We're going to walk the hands over to the left, parallel the feet. Inhale here in the center. Exhale, just fold deeply. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to the hips. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. We're going to turn our toes slightly outward. We're setting it for goddess pose. So bring your arms to cactus arms and then bend your knees, finding goddess pose. So drawing your shoulder blades together behind you, sinking into this pose. Keep breathing. Try to keep your knees in line with your ankles. So you don't want your knees to start falling forward if you can help it. If you need to bring your hands down to press your knees back a little bit, you can also do that. Just keep your chest lifted. Let's go ahead and straighten the knees. We're going to come back to Warrior Two on our right. Inhaling in Warrior Two, exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take a Vinyasa here if you would like to. Vinyasa. Okay, so we're all in our downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right leg up. As you exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. We're going to lift up for a high lunge. Hands come back down to the mat. We're going to step the left foot in halfway, finding our pyramid pose. So hips are square to the front of the mat. Just very slightly think about pulling your right hip back. We're going to turn this into a Warrior Three. So you're going to come up halfway, and you're just going to start to extend that left leg behind you. Reach the arms forward, finding Warrior Three. Step all the way back to your high lunge again. Dropping that back heel, finding Warrior Two. Straightening your right knee, coming to triangle pose. This time, if you'd like to challenge your core a little bit, bring the left arm parallel with the floor. Float the right arm up, parallel with the left. Reach both arms towards the front of the room. Keep spiraling the torso so that your chest is facing the wall that you're facing. Go ahead and come all the way up, back to Warrior Two. Inhale here, exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. Vinyasa here is, of course, always an option. So we'll go to the second side. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step forward. Sweep both arms up for a high lunge. Hands return to the mat. Step the right foot in halfway. Find your pyramid pose. Come up halfway. Maybe bring the hands to the hips. Shift forward for Warrior Three. Step that right foot all the way back to your high lunge. Drop the back heel, find Warrior Two. Straighten the left knee. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right arm parallel with the floor. Engage the core. Lift the left arm. Come all the way up. Warrior two. Inhaling here, exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. From your down dog, look between your hands, step your feet forward. Inhale, lift halfway, exhale, fold. Let's bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips. We're coming to a squat, so malasana. Lowering your hips down, bringing the palms together in prayer pose, in the center of the chest, pressing the backs of the arms into the knees, lifting the chest. Returning our hands to the mat, straightening the knees, bringing your feet back to hip width. Then we'll roll up to standing. Coming all the way up, back to our mountain pose. Let's bring the feet together. We're going to come to chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms come to a T, right arm under left, eagle arms. Right knee over left for eagle legs. So we're going to do a couple eagle crunches here. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're just going to start to lower your elbows. Maybe they'll come down to your knees. Inhale, come all the way back up. Lowering down one more time. Coming all the way back up. When uncross the legs, step the right foot all the way back. Lifting the elbows a little bit higher. As we release the arms, we'll come to our warrior two. So keep your warrior two legs. We're going to start to lower our hands down to the floor, and we're going to walk the hands out. So you're walking them out kind of at an angle towards the front right corner of your mat. So think down dog arms with warrior two legs. And when you're ready, we're going to start walking our hands in, walking to the front of your mat. Step the left foot back to the downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. Look between the hands, step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, back to chair pose. Arms to a T, left arm under right for eagle arms. Left leg over right, eagle legs. I'm going to slowly lower down. Maybe tap the knees, or the elbows to the knees. Slowly lift back up. Lowering down again. Trying not to use that toes balance if you can. Lifting back up. Uncrossing, stepping back to your high lunge. Lifting the elbows a little bit higher. Releasing the arms, coming to warrior two. And we'll come to that same pose we did before, hands to the mat. So walking the hands forward at an angle towards the left. Down dog, down dog arms, warrior two legs. Start to walk the hands over to the right. Step your right foot back. Coming to our downward facing dog. And again, taking another vinyasa, or maybe just dropping the knees to the mat and taking a child's pose. And if you're in child's pose when you're ready, let's come back to our downward facing dog. We're going to come to pigeon pose. Let's lift the left leg up. Draw that left knee forward. Set it down on the floor. Sitting up nice and tall first, and then starting to walk the arms forward, using your block either under your hip or under your forehead or your arms. So we're going to sit back up. We're going to let the left hip drop to the mat. We're going to swing the right leg all the way around. We're coming to a shoelace pose. So let's try to stack the right knee on top of the left knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Make sure both sitting bones are firmly on your mat. So you can reach for your feet or your shins or whatever. Sit up nice and tall. If you want to, you can start to lower the chest down if that's not too much. Stretching your hips. We'll sit back up. We'll swing the right leg around to the back again. Step back to our downward facing dog. We're going to come to a fallen triangle. Let's inhale the left leg up. As you exhale, come out to plank, pull the knee into the chest. Kick the leg out to the right side. Outer edge of your left foot is on the mat. Let your right heel drop to the floor. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. And maybe lift that left leg up off the floor. And then release back to your downward facing dog. Let's come to pigeon on the right. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee forward, set it down. You guys know pigeon. Lifting up first. Coming forward. Lowering yourself down into this hip opener. Start to sit back up, let the right hip drop to the mat, swing the left leg all the way around, stack the left knee on top of the right for shoelace. Again, sitting up nice and tall, take an inhale as you exhale, start to lean forward. We'll sit back up, we'll swing the left leg around to the back again, pressing back to our downward facing dog. Fallen triangle on the right. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Kick the leg out to the side. Drop the left heel onto the floor. Reach the left arm up. Maybe lift the right leg off the floor. Let's lower everything down. Step back to your downward facing dog. One last vinyasa here if you so choose, coming out to your plank. Lowering through chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. In downward facing dog. Let's drop the knees to the floor. Let's take a child's pose. And it might feel nice in your child's pose to bring your arms down by your sides. Coming out of your child's pose, we're just going to go onto our backs. I'm going to take one gentle bridge pose here. Heels are close into your glutes. We'll just lift up. I know we haven't done a lot of back bending. We'll just do a nice gentle bridge here. When you're ready, slowly lower back down to the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees drop out to the sides for Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta supine, lying on your back. And then we'll pull the knees together and straighten the legs out on the mat. We're going to pull our right knee into the chest. So we're going to take a twist here. So you're going to bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Bring your right arm out to the side. Palm facing up. Start to twist to the left. Trying to keep your right arm, your right shoulder on the mat. And when you're ready, we'll slowly untwist. Extend the leg out on the mat. Going to the second side, pull the left knee in. Use the right hand to draw that knee across your body, twisting over to the right. And when you're ready, we'll untwist. Extend the left leg out on the mat. And then when you're ready, we'll pull both knees into the chest. Rocking side to side, circling the knees a little bit, both directions. Let's reach for the outer edges of the feet, finding a happy baby. Pressing the lower back down into the mat. And taking a minute or two here, finishing up any last poses. As always, that you might still feel like your body needs just to round out your practice. And when you're ready, no hurry, we're gonna head into our Shavasana. Bringing a hand to the belly and a hand to the chest again. Just noticing how your breath is feeling now. And just releasing your arms at your sides, palms facing up. Relaxing the facial muscles, the jaw, the cheeks, the forehead. Letting there be a little bit of space between the upper and the lower teeth. Coming to our final relaxation pose just for a few minutes. You can start to come out of your Shavasana if you're ready, moving your body slowly and gently. Taking a stretch. Move over to one side, pausing on your side. When you're ready, coming up to a seat. The palms come together at the heart, the head bows with gratitude. Thank you all for tuning in and sharing your practice with me this morning. It's supposed to be a beautiful day and a beautiful week. I hope you guys all enjoy it. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.